Kathleen, thank you so much for meeting with us.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here to have a conversation again.
Well, what do you think were some of the biggest accomplishments for Clark County in the past year?
We've actually had several accomplishments that our staff have done, and most of them are community focused. For example, in our community services department, they provided more financial assistance in Clark County than the entire state of Oregon. And they were also one of the top dollar amount of putting them in the community in the state of Washington as well. For eviction rental assistance, they assisted over 3,400 households. Over 32,000 months of rent and utility assistance were paid, and over $29 million of financial assistance were distributed in our community. They also increased some of our shelter bed capacity, and also increased the county funded homeless outreach staff from 2.5 to 17 across 3 organizations. Additionally, our permit center, they also provided a lot of efficiencies during 2021. The permit intake went from 8 weeks to 1 week. Turning around phone calls and emails went from 2 weeks to the same day, and they get about 150 calls a day. And the average permit life cycle went from 20 weeks to 4 weeks, which is just truly impactful for our community in the building industry. Of course, public health is continuing to work with our partners and lead our response for COVID-19. And then just overall, all the county departments and offices, they continue to show resiliency time and time again. The ability to adapt to change with COVID, new guidance from the state, some staff changes. They've been able to do this with continuity of operations, as well as continual evaluation for efficiencies.
You mentioned COVID. I'm assuming that was one of the biggest challenges the county faced. What were some other challenges?
Of course. Well, first of all, I do see challenges as opportunities. The constant state that we face of the unknown and changes really is one of our largest challenges. Many times we're pivoting to ensure compliance as well as safety of our staff and community members while maintaining service levels. This continual unknown does affect people and can cause inadvertent stress. As with other jurisdictions, we've also seen some staffing changes. But with that said, it has truly been exciting to see new team members join our team at the county and watch our leaders emerge in the county as well. I don't think anyone thought that we would still be in a pandemic almost 2 years later. People are very weary and tired and want their normal back. My hope is that everyone can just truly take a pause. Remember, no one is perfect, but everyone is doing the best they can. And while we may not always agree, I would highly encourage everyone to embrace the diverse opinions with kindness and compassion.
Well, let's dive a little bit more into COVID. We're recording this interview on January 18th and in the middle of a very large virus surge. Looking back at 2021, we had vaccine rollout and struggled through at least two of these variants. How did the county navigate these unprecedented challenges?
So, with the vaccine rollout, our staff had the foresight and really saw what was coming, and we were made aware that vaccines were going to become available. Public health was able to obtain services to assist with implementing a plan and coordinating the resources by working with a type 1 incident management team. These types of teams actually respond to a variety of emergencies in our country, such as forest firefighting. We had multi-agency coordination discussions every day with our key stakeholders in the community. This was to share information and resources. What are the pinch points, resource allocations, et cetera. The team included public health, the incident commanders, the county, and many of our local partners, such as the hospitals, the Vancouver Clinic, the Free Clinic, the fire districts, FEMA, State of Washington, and our school districts. They really worked together, and there was also other key like logistical and communication teams that worked together to ensure a consistent and clear message was being sent to our community. Furthermore, the state of Washington did use the Clark County Fairgrounds as a mass vaccination site. The county is very fortunate that we have a well-versed manager in John Morrison at the fairgrounds. While this was a state site, this was a success due to John's extensive leadership, the knowledge of the fairgrounds, and his prior military experience. he was able to ensure that vaccination site ran as smoothly as it could to support our community. And as you mentioned, we've had a couple surges and a couple different variants with COVID. Again, staff have been really resilient and have adapted to changes with short notice to ensure the services being provided continue while maintaining the safe environment for our staff and community. Both internally with the county, looking at working from home. Recently, the jury trials have been suspended due to the recent outbreak, meeting remotely as we are today, as well as public health joining our partners in the community continually to make sure that they're supported.
Now, if the pandemic has taught us anything, it's the challenges of planning anything. So, how are you preparing for 2022, not knowing if we're turning the corner or possibly facing new variants?
Right. As I stated before, I do see the challenges as opportunities. While I would love to see contingencies developed for all the unknowns, we do the best we can. And as one thing I've learned is that we can't always anticipate what we're going to be faced with. Internally, we continue to communicate and coordinate often. Again, the staff have been able to adapt quickly. And while I know there's the craving for normalcy, we have found ways to continue our services, even though they might look differently. And we actually have realized some efficiencies during the pandemic. Furthermore, the council is going to be having their annual retreat next month and will be discussing policy priorities. Staff will continue to look for ways to ensure that we can move forward with those priorities. Again, with what the process may look like, it's going to look different. It has looked different. For example, public interaction is really important with our policy here in the county. And it's a large part of what we are doing or should be doing. Finding other methods to communicate out information and receive information from our constituents is truly important. The council has been looking at allowing in-person council meetings as this is a vital communication method. But at the same time, we want to ensure, again, that safety. And with the current surge, they have delayed that opening for a few weeks, and then we'll revisit it in the 1st of February.
Has the county revenue outlook been impacted from the pandemic?
Yes, if you remember, I think when we talked last time, there was a lot of unknowns on how the revenue was going to be impacted. For 2021, we did budget our revenue flat, just with the unknown. The sales tax revenue, though, came in much stronger and is truly unprecedented. We are close to $8 million more than what we anticipated. The possible reasons why is that our community members are buying locally as opposed to going across the river into Oregon, and also community members who are buying online, which the county receives the sales tax revenue. This was a change in legislation in the last couple of years. Our general fund has hundreds of revenue streams. While the sales tax and property tax continue to perform well during the pandemic, many of the other revenue streams related to services have come in lower. Our finance team continues to monitor monthly, and we will make any recommendations and update to our budget as we move forward.
We've had this discussion previously. How can you continue with increasing population growth? How can you continue to operate with limited revenue growth? And what does the trend look like 5-10 years from now?
Yes, it is going to be tough. As you mentioned, we do have a population growth. We have more than 500,000 community members now in Clark County. Due to the one-time ARPA funding that the county received, we were able to prepare and present a balanced budget to the council, and we're able to adopt a balanced budget for 2022. Our general fund, which is the largest fund that we have, has about $179 million in the revenues. Our general fund continues to struggle. Year over year, our expenses continue to outpace our revenues, with no additional funding requests to the general fund. During the time the budget was adopted in November, which was the last time we did our 6-year forecast, we are currently anticipating a $4.1 million shortfall in that fund in 2023. And then in 2027, the shortfall increases to just over $62 million. So there's definitely a lot of work that we need to do to ensure continuity in our services.
The County Charter Review Commission wrapped up its work at the end of 2021. Voters approved a number of revisions to the charter last year, and more proposed changes will be on the 2022 general election ballot. What's the status on incorporating the voter approved changes during 2022?
Yes, so as you mentioned, the Charter Review Commission did put 7 amendments on the ballot. They included nonpartisan elected officials, changing 4 districts and a countywide chair to 5 districts, a charter review timeframe reduced from 10 to 5 years, independent ethics oversight committee, general corrections, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. All of them had passed with the exception of DEI. The nonpartisan is already in effect. The 5 districts that were established did come with a transition period. So the chair is currently representing District 5 until the end of her term. Other counselors who may have changed districts will remain in their current district until the end of their term as well. The council did already vote on the chair and vice chair at the first meeting in January per the charter amendments. The majority of the council retained Councilor Chair O'Brien as the chair, and the vice chair is now Councilor Bowerman. We're currently reviewing the ethics oversight changes, and we'll be moving forward with those changes in the very near future.
Okay. The county did seek voter approval for body cams for the sheriff's office. Unfortunately, the measure failed. Will the county be reconsidering other funding options for body cams in 2022?
Yes, we've already had, the council's already had a couple conversations regarding funding options for body cameras. One option that they are considering is putting the public safety sales tax ballot on the ballot next year, which I believe would be in August or November. And this would be the majority of the funding that the county needs is really about the ongoing support for the body cameras for public disclosure requests, maintenance and stuff. So the initial cost isn't as much, it's really the ongoing. There's also been dialogue with our legislatures to see if there's any financial support from the state for body cameras, as some of their legislative changes are requiring some of the video as well with the police response.
Okay, what do you see as the upcoming opportunities / challenges for 2022?
Yes, unfortunately, as stated earlier, it's the health of our general fund. It's really not sustainable. More than 70% of this general fund budget is law and justice. That is our sheriff's office. That's our district and superior court, our prosecuting attorney, our clerk's office. And 70% of that is people. And so, really trying to look at different opportunities where we can figure out how to minimize our financial liability without impacting service level. Of course, we need to look at the revenue side as well and look at what options we have to bring in revenue to help support the general fund. The great opportunity that we have is we have a great leadership team here in Clark County and tremendous staff. I've been very fortunate, and quite frankly, I'm truly in awe of seeing the work that they have done and will continue to do for our community.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with viewers about county government?
Sure. 2 things. Just one, there are plenty of ways that the community can get involved with Clark County. I would encourage any community member to visit our website and look at the different boards and commissions. These boards are essential to providing vital feedback on our services. And finally, our commitment here at the county is to the community. The community is why we are all here. I do welcome feedback and would encourage anybody, if you'd like to reach out to me or any of our departments, please, we all welcome that feedback. My email is kathleen.otto, OTTO, @clark.wa.gov, or you can call our main number at 564-397-2332. And I just want to say thank you. I appreciate the conversation today. And I want to thank our community for your support and patience as we continue to live in an unprecedented time.
Well, thank you so much for joining with us, and best of luck to you and to the county for in 2022.
Thank you.